Hey everybody, this is Petey from the Spinner Rack, and today I am doing what I consider the greatest crossover ever. It would be Supervillain. It'll be the big first battle between Doctor Doom and Magneto. This will be written by Bill Mantlo, drawn by Bob Hall. As a kid, I had Champion 16. I had 13 and 16. Now 16 was the second part, and it's just such the craziest story. And as a kid, it really took me a long time to figure out where this issue started from. I don't know, maybe it has a note in there, but I was wondering when I finally got Champions 15, they had no connection to this. And I was hoping Byrne would have drawn this, but it seems if you read this issue, Byrne did this cover here, which I think a lot of people love. There is some weaknesses in this and some of the faces and that sort of thing, but it's a Byrne and Austin shot of Doom running everything. And the next shot is of Gil Kane, but possibly, I'm not sure how many people are inking it, but it looks like the form is Gil Kane. And we got the champions fighting Magneto with the Beast in there. Like, how do you get any better than this? The Avengers on this cover, and buying this as a kid, had Hercules going right at Magneto, right? So this ties into some of the stuff I've done before. It actually does. It's kind of crazy because I said Bill Mantlo would be a good guy for the X-Men, and he does a great Magneto. Knows the characterization between the X-Men, the originals. And the other thing is, this might be considered one of the closest Magneto had been to being the good guy in this period than he had ever been. He's definitely not a good guy, but he is at odds with Doom. And Doom is at odds with the world, so the enemy of our enemy, Magneto, becomes the guy fighting for us. And he has one person by his side, which is the Beast. And we'll find this out as we go through it. All right. Let's try to go through this thing, right? Now, when I said Byrne and Gil Kane, Bob Hall is a decent artist. Very action-packed. You can see it as Avengers. This is early him, and this is kind of the 70s Marvel period, where they were just really kind of getting the mood for things. They weren't killing you on actually trying to see the dimension, like the perspectives and whatnot. Basically, they were giving you a lot of mood and stuff that really works for comics and kids. And this stuff for me, because I'm a Magneto fan, I'm an Avengers fan, Champions fan, X-Men fan, all this thing kind of plays to me as a kid, as a fan. So we have Magneto in Latveria, and he's, trying to get through this, but and he's telling the people he'll crush them with just a gesture, but they're still ignoring him. And why is he ignoring them? He's like, no, the master decrees we celebrate. So they're in celebration because Doom told them to, right? And Magneto's like, they're not listening to him. And then, of course, there's some sort of officiated, or some sort of police thing who's on a horse telling him to not, do anything punishable by death. And Magneto's like, nah, it ain't happening. I'm in power, right? And he even takes down Doom's statue, right? He said, we must run. Let the stranger seek his own doom. In Doom himself. Doom again. Yes, I've tarried long enough. It is time we two meet. Let the magnetic bridge carry me to him. To divide the world between us. Right? So, a little explanatory, but it's really cool stuff, right? So Magneto gets out of the crowd and runs into Doom. And now Doom is like marveling at himself, right? He has a cosmic thing he's played on Reed Richards that he doesn't know anything about yet. I'm not sure if this is the period where Reed loses his powers. I'd have to look to find out what time it is, what Doom had played on him, but he's getting bored. And while Doom is bored, Magneto rushes him, right? But Doom isn't impressed by Magneto, right? So the plan is he grants Magneto audience, right? And he just talks about him being a kid, and he's like, "What? How did you know that? What? That's crazy." So he starts saying the humiliation being a kid, and then him being brought back to adulthood by Eric the Red. And this takes place after X-Men 104, where he pretty almost beat the X-Men. He really put the beats on them, but he said, "Hey, the carriage ran before he gave the utter defeat." And Archie Goodwin's not saying, "Well, that's not necessarily the case." He said he wanted to finish the X-Men and then he triumph over the world. But Magneto's thinking about his ex-girlfriend. And he says, "Why you come to Doom, Magneto? Up in this enough power to crush the planet, Doom, not subjugated. We are the true superior. We work together." And Doom is like, "Nope." The world is already his. He says, "Is he mad? He feels he already subjugated the world." He's like, "Not talking about political power. I'm talking about global rule. As am I. Gaze." And he sent off the canisters. It's already released. And he's already taken over the world. Right? And he shows Magneto that not even Magneto can defy him. So at this point, when Magneto gets there, he doesn't even know that Doom already has a plot to take over the world, and drops Magneto to the floor. Right? So then Magneto tries to use his power, and then he finds that his power works against him. But Doom allowed him to shield himself by having control of his power. He said, "Why spare me?" And he's like, "Why? Because I'm bored. I rule the world, yet none know of it." And that was the surprise, that he'd already put into the play him controlling the world. Right? So Magneto kind of talks him into a challenge, right? A challenge between the two of them. So it begins, right? So they toast for it. And then he falls out, but it's actually an antidote to the neuro-gas, right? So the battle will begin after this, right? So Magneto runs to the Avengers, and we have Magneto take on the Avengers, and he kind of pushes them all aside with his powers, right? He said, Maggie's tossing away our big three like non-returnable Coke bottles. God. But this is kind of how the present day people kind of see Magneto, where he kind of is tough enough to take on, like, I don't know how it's working on Thor's hammer, but, it adds to the effect. A lot of ads back then. Then even the Yellowjacket and the Wasp takes short work of them. Even makes short work of the Vision and even Wonder Man by messing with his blood, right? Then the Beast comes out of nowhere, and he said, "Nope." Right once the Avengers get back on their feet after the Beast helps. What's he got? He said, the planes into Doom's hand. So what's Doom got to do it? It's a careful, Beast. It might be a trick. So then they realize he didn't really injure them. So basically, he's going to talk them out. He explains everything to the Avengers, right? Everything that happened. Even though he could have possibly taken out a few Avengers in time. And he woke up And then he goes out there and he realizes that here and now the Avengers are Doom's slave. Right? He let them play as if they were free, but he actually has total control of the Avengers. Right? And has them attack Magneto. And then he's like, he has to choose an ally first, though. And then he realizes the ally is going to choose to go against Doom is going to be the Beast. Right? He's nuttier as he should have picked Thor. And here we explain how Magneto is able to control minds in the old X-Men. He's by regulating the blood flow of iron-laden blood. Let's say regulating the flow of iron-laden blood to the brain. Right? That's how he controls it. Perhaps a similar process will affect Doom's chemically induced control. Right? So then he does that to the Beast and frees them. So they decide to go to the Champions, but they also, I think, they go to the X-Men's, but the X-Men are gone, right? X-Men 107. So they're out in space right now. They go to the FF. I forget where the FF are. And then they go to, they're like traveling all across the planet, all across the US. So they go to FF. They're not there. They go to the X-Men. Then they go see the Champions. And the Champions that they called, the Avengers called the Champions and told that Magneto was coming and Beast turned traitor. Right? So we go to the jump off, which would be the next issue, Champion 16. And there's one member that we're not seeing, which is Black Star? Yeah, her right here. Right? And he says, "Curse you, Beast. When Doom allowed me one ally, among whom the controlled Avengers, if I could free that one mind. Why, by all powers, did I choose you? Because you hoped that, so the whole plan was, if he chose the Beast would ultimately help with the change of mind to get Professor Xavier involved. But actually, no, where's Xavier at? He's at Misty Knight's house. That's where he was at. Why he wasn't at the mansion. Right, so the Avengers are learning Champions, and they say Magneto and the Beast are coming, but they're actually the ones trying to stop Doom. Even though it's a challenge for Magneto, ultimately, if Magneto wins, it actually saves everyone else, right? So Magneto does his thing. Beast is going up against them. But they're not too... And look, it's like right here, we're not really worried about perspective, anything like that. All of this is just fun art. It's like too many characters for artists at the time to really kill themselves on trying to think of it. It's just good, fun stuff, right? Nice Man is iffy on hurting the Beast, but he starts to stop him. And then now Hercules is back on this. And Hercules is kind of the character that they wanted to be the star, whereas I think Byrne and Mantlo and Byrne were trying to make the Black Widow the star, right? Right? So then after this brief battle, they decide, you know what? Now we got to stop Doom. We got to go to DC. So they... It's like old school comics where you travel all across the globe, all across the US in no time flat, right? So Magneto goes in his magnetic globe, and then Dark Star takes them using her Dark Star power, right? I think I might have said Black Star. She's Dark Star, right? So basically, Doom comes to the Capitol. And all of the U.S. leaders, so obviously there's Jimmy Carter, right? they are just playing to Doom. And Doom has had it with these people that are all these self-interest groups, right? And he's just had it, having it like this is the sad part of having these U.S. politicians on his side. But as normal, the Hulk just leaps into the story. And this is how the Hulk gets into a story. He's just leaping from who knows where, and he just pops up into the story. The Secret Service. Now you have to remember, the Secret Service touched Doom, and he's like, don't touch me. And he's like, oh no, but the Hulk, Excellency. He's like, nope, I'm going to use the Hulk to my advantage, right? Hulk is under his control. And then when Magneto and the Beast get there, Doom sends the Hulk after him, right? So now they're like, how are they going to handle this? At the same time, the champions get there, and it's like there's Magneto, and there's Doom, and they're like, oh, an old foe of Hercules as well, right? So, yep, Magneto says, I'll just take the Hulk out of play by sending him to Hercules, and these two will probably fight, right? Which is what happens. The Hulk turns his whole attention on Hercules, right? And then Doom sends the champions after the Beast, but it doesn't work on Ghost Rider, right? The neurotoxin doesn't work on Ghost Rider because he's some unworldly thing. He said since Hellspawn Ghost Rider does not breathe, he never inhaled the neuro-gas, right? So the two of them had to fight these armed guards. So the champions are going at the Magneto, while these two fight the troops. And then Hercules is like enjoying this fight with the Hulk. Sends the Hulk sailing. I was like, oh no, the Hulk's gonna get beat. Here they talk about, hey, there was people. Actually, it's just telling you that John Byrne is leaving. There's a big response after Champions 13. Sorry to say, Byrne is going to join the X-Men, right? So right now they've dealt with the troops, but Iceman is there. Then Angel comes out of nowhere. Magneto's taking this. Just the fight is just going on. Magneto's still going at Doom as best he can, but Doom is still kind of outclassing him. Hulk comes back. The battle goes back and forth between the two of them. Since it's Hercules' book, I think he gets a nice shot against the Hulk. And the Beast finally takes out Angel, but that lets him falling down. And he falls right on top of Doom. And that gives Ghost Rider opening, and then he puts Hellfire into Doom's mask, and then Doom, of course, blows away Ghost Rider. But then he said he has to take the mask off because the fire, and he needs air. He said, "Oh no, he's gonna have to inhale his own gas, right? Because he has to take in air because of the fire." And then when he takes in the gas, everyone else is freed. They don't know what happened, why they're there. Even the Hulk is out of there. And I don't think Bill Mantlo was writing the Hulk yet. So you have a scene where Bill Mantlo has kind of already got the Hulk's voice. He had pretty much everyone's voice down here, so that's always cool. Right? Do you hear, Beast? I've won. Without Doom's conscious control, they return to normal. Then the Beast says, and since their normal reaction as X-Men would be to pulverize you, Mags, I suggest that you choose the better part of valor and split. Magneto says, I could smash your once companions with ease. And yet the desire to do so is not with me. I have won. I have wrestled with Doom for the world and taken the prize from his grasp. The world is free once more. Guard well, champions and Avengers, for it is the prize still coveted by Magneto. It's like, Beast, what's going on? What are we doing there? I don't know, Warren. But Dr. Jane, what's wrong with him? He's raving. He's like, what's he raving about? And he's stuck in this sort of thing, right? So there we go. Classic crossover with more people than you'd imagine. We got not only the Beast, the Avengers, Doom, Magneto, even the Hulk. So this is just a fun book, right? By the great Bob Hall. We're going to do the Avengers fame and/or infamy, and I guess that's about it. Spin rack out.